Hello, welcome to the Beard Out Podcast. Podcast where we talk about the two greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al Yankovic. My Aunt Lala and my dad are the hosts of the show. Thanks for listening to the Beard Out Podcast, part of the OddPods Media Network. Stay weird and enjoy the show.
This is Beer in Front. Every week I'll talk about a beer that maybe we've forgotten along the way while we get those check-ins and badges. Being the Chicago beer guy, I'll also talk about great craft beer in the city of Chicago. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. It's Beer in Front, part of the OddPods Media Network.
Here comes the music.
Well, hey, how are you doing? Have a seat. Have a drink. Boy, I can glad to see you. What can you say? Where's Lala?
Oh my goodness. This is a whole thing. This is a whole thing that is happening here on the Beard Out Podcast. It is the podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world. Beer, I have a bottle, so it's not going to be pretty. And Weird Al. And, you know, we've done a lot of different kinds of very special episodes in the past, but I'm starting this new thing now where I'm going out to the other podcasts that I have in here in the OddPods Media Network, and I'm having them bring their format to you with a Weird Al twist. So you are in for a treat today, my friends, because I have Garret from the EverTrending Story podcast here today, and we're going to ever trend the heck out of Weird Al today. So Garret, how are you, my friend?
I am doing quite well. How are you?
I am wonderful. I just cracked a nice Sam Adams cold IPA, so I'm not mad about it.
I also cracked my beer of choice, which was really the only thing I have in my home. It's a Michelob Ultra. Trying to watch them carbs.
Gotcha.
New year, new me.
I cut my carbs elsewhere. I have all but given up bread. I was like, you can take my bread, but you can't take my beer.
You know, my wife and I tried to do keto, and the bread was the one thing we couldn't get rid of. We had toast like after like 2 months of doing keto, and it was the most heavenly thing we've ever had. We're just like, now keto's not for us. We'll lose weight other ways.
Yeah, well, it was a buy one get one free thing at the store just yesterday. I got a it was a honey wheat bread, but it was keto friendly. And so I bought 2 loaves of it because they were buy one, get one free.
Mhm.
And I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on it today, and it was okay.
That keto bread's very hit or miss. We had one loaf that was absolute garbage, but we found one that was pretty cheap, and it tasted just like regular bread. So I was very, very impressed with that. But yeah, it's very, very hit or miss which ones are good.
It's hit or miss. It's a texture thing for me. This just didn't have that, like,
Mhm.
it wasn't dense enough for my tastes. But I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna eat, I'll handle this. There's still peanut butter on it, and then I can have a beer later.
Yeah, there you
And life is okay. Life is good.
go.
So
It is good.
Garret, like I said at the top here, you and your show, The EverTrending Story, are relatively new members of the OddPods Media Network. Just so you are aware, this episode will hit the ears of people sometime early March.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, yeah, your girl works ahead.
Yeah. That's definitely one thing I can't do with my show. I was actually talking to one of my coworkers about that today. He's like, "Do you bank episodes?" I'm like, "I wish I could, but the way that our format works, that wouldn't work. Otherwise, people would be kind of lost with the trends that we bring up." So,
Yeah, you've got a
but
whole timely thing. So,
yeah.
Speaking of that timely thing, give your elevator pitch to my audience here so they kind of know what they'd be in store for if they would go listen to you and sort of what they're in store for here today.
Yeah, so our show operates in this way. So what we do is we peruse the internet and we look for trends on like Twitter or Google or anywhere like hashtags are available, or even just like big news articles and things like that. Um like for instance, something that's going to be coming up is NASA recently discovered that there's a second Earth-sized planet that's like within like traveling distance or something like that. It's like a new
Okay.
discovery. So then like I'm going to take that topic of like second Earth, and what we do is we get like 6 or 8 of these trends, and then using a genre randomizer, what my co-host Frankie and I will do is we will write a fictional story, but we will sprinkle in these trends like throughout the paragraphs and stuff, and we usually try to make them fit nicely so it's pretty smooth. But sometimes you get something weird, like when Lil Nas X had his blood shoes. How do you really throw that in without like being specific about it, you know?
Yeah.
And we write a fictional story. They're usually like, 5, 10, 15 minutes at the most, and we just have a good time discussing the news and everything like that, and obviously having fun writing a kooky story.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I have said this to countless people at this point. Your concept and your format is probably one of the most creative things that I have seen out there in the podcast space, and I that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to be the first person on for this like cross format thing that I'm trying to do, because it's like more people need to check out what you guys are doing because it is a super fun thing. And anybody in the podcast space, if you're listening to this, I was a guest on EverTrending Story, and I had the absolute best time writing the story and reading it and reacting to it and just kind of doing it. It was a ton of fun. So if you have an ounce of creativity in your body, which if you're a podcaster, you should go on this show.
Yes, we always like having guests on the show too. That's something new that we started last year with our season 2. Um, we had Lauren on, and then we also had Russ, and then we had Liv and Nicole from Sorry If We Made It Weird. They were the only guests we had last year, and it was so fun writing with somebody different. So yes, even if you're really not super creative, like all you have to do is just write something and throw some words in where other words should be. It's really no pressure. There's no good or bad stories. So just if you want to join us, we are always waiting with open arms for you.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, flex those creative muscles. If you don't use them, you lose them.
Hmm.
So this is a
Yeah.
fun exercise in using them for sure.
Yes.
It's like that game of, because the way y'all write these stories, the way this is, and the way this happened here is, and you're going to hear this as we read through this story. I'm going to read the bits that I wrote. Garrett's going to read the bits that he wrote, and we kind of did it back and forth in it's like a game of telephone. You kind of start, and then the next person picks up, and then you pick it back up, and then you pick it back up until it's
Mhm.
done. And you don't know what you're going to get when it comes back to you. Like you could have a whole different idea in your head where you think the trajectory is going to be, and then it's going to go somewhere else. And it's
Yes.
a ton of fun to do. It's actually an exercise that I do with my students sometimes, is have them do this more like line by line to think about transitional words and phrases.
Mhm.
But it's super fun. It gets your brain going.
Yeah, and I mean, part of that fun, like you said, is just like when Frankie and I write, like I'll write a couple paragraphs, and we've got like I've got a certain thing in mind on how I want the story to go, and then she'll say, "Well, here it is for you," and then I'll get it back. I'm like, that wasn't anywhere near the direction I was going, so let's see if I can spin it back that way or just take it in a whole new direction. It's so fun that you don't really get to see what's coming until you actually have it.
Yeah, it's very improv. It's like that
Yes.
whole yes and, like, you just kinda have to take what's given to you
Mhm.
and roll with it.
Yes, definitely.
So cool. So, in a slight departure from your format, we're gonna talk a little bit about the quote unquote trends that we're using in this particular story ahead of time. I put them together because they're all Weird Al sort of things, but you'll find them sprinkled throughout this wonderful story that Garrett and I have created together. But they are Weird, the Al Yankovic story, which as of our recording for this, won the Critics' Choice Award for Best Made-for-TV Movie, and Daniel Radcliffe won for Best Actor in a Made-for-TV Movie. This thing is sweeping all of the awards that it's eligible for, and I think it's beautiful.
That's awesome. I was actually really disappointed with myself because I was really looking forward to watching this movie, and then, I don't have a Roku stick, and my TV doesn't have Roku on there, so I had to watch it on my phone, and I got, like, 30 minutes in, and I just couldn't do it on that small screen, so I haven't finished it yet, but it's still on my to-do list.
Oh, yeah, do it. I mean, honestly, the I have loaned my Roku stick out to people locally so they can watch the damn thing.
Yeah. I think there's actually one in the TV at work that no one's using. Maybe I'll just have to snag it for a night. No one's
Yeah,
really gonna know anyway and just give it a shot.
take it and bring it back,
Yeah. Yeah, they
do
won't
that.
know.
They won't know. One thing you can watch if you have Netflix, which is our second trend on here, is the soccer football movie,
Yeah.
which was did you watch that?
No, this one really flew under the radar. Like,
Yeah, it
when I
did.
saw you post that, I'm like, I had no idea he was even in this movie. I hadn't even heard of it being made, who's behind it, or anything like that. I just know he's in it, and that's all I know.
Yeah. It's been out for a little while now, so like I watch it though cuz there are bits that are worth watching it for sure.
Okay.
But Weird Al is the villain, and I'm not saying that Weird Al voices a villain. I am saying that Weird Al is the villain. Um and
Nice.
he voices himself as the villain, and he uses weird science and like genetic mutation gelatinous slug things to take over a championship soccer team so that he can be the greatest soccer player in the world, and this group of ragtag kids work to foil his plan. It's the strangest movie that has probably ever existed.
That sounds very bizarre, but it also sounds like something that's right up Weird Al's alley, so I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
Yeah,
I'll check it
definitely,
out.
definitely give it a watch. It's terrible and amazing, like in the best way of
Sure.
of all of that for sure. Then our next trend is Weird Al is dead. So there was a whole thing on several TV shows throughout 2020, 21 where they had episodes called Weird Al is dead. A lot of post-apocalyptic stuff where people are just kind of being like, "Oh my god, all this stuff went on," and like, "That means Weird Al is dead." You know?
Yeah.
So, and Weird Al retweeted every time that happened. He was like, "Oh no, I'm dead again."
Oh, he's just a national treasure, isn't he?
He is, and the way he can just kind of take all that and the way that it goes.
Mhm.
Um, and then our next trend is the unfortunate return of the ridiculously self-indulgent, ill-advised vanity tour, which is still going on because Weird Al is doing a couple things. He's taking the show to Australia. He's taking
Nice.
the show to Hawaii for the first time in his entire career. He's performing in Hawaii. They've never played in Hawaii before.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
You would think with
So
the clothes he wears, that would be, like, one of his first stops.
you would think, and actually somebody in a Weird Al group when he posted about uh performing in Hawaii said, "Does that mean you're going to wear all black because everyone in the audience is going to be in a Hawaiian shirt?" But it's like, okay, you go to any Weird Al show, brother, virtually everyone in the audience is in a Hawaiian shirt
Mhm.
because that's what you wear to a Weird Al show. And then the last two trends aren't really trends. They're mostly just kind of Weird Al topics that I felt like needed to be included. Accordions, because of course, you
Yeah.
can't talk Weird Al without talking accordions, and baloney.
Oh, I love bologna so much.
I'm not a fan of like regular bologna, but have you ever had Lebanon bologna?
No, I have not.
Okay, Lebanon bologna is like if salami and bologna had a baby, and that's the meat.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It's amazing. It's like it's smoky,
Ooh, okay.
and it's cured like a salami, but it's not as hard as salami, and it has like notes of bologna to it. I can't. If you find Lebanon bologna anywhere at your local deli, get yourself a 1/4 pound of thin sliced Lebanon bologna just to try it to make sure you like it because I don't want you to
Okay.
commit to more meat than you're going to care for. And I'm speaking to you, Garrett, and I'm also speaking to the audience at large. Try Lebanon bologna.
Okay.
I like Lebanon bologna with Munster cheese. If you're going to
Okay.
make a sandwich with it, the flavors seem to go well. You got the creaminess of the Munster and then that smoky, cured, with a hint of sweetness of the Lebanon bologna. It's
Okay.
excellent. It's unlike anything you've ever had.
That sounds really good as a combo. So I will. Okay, I'm gonna write that on the shopping list, and I will get that next time I'm at the store.
Yeah, I
It's it
know
is it is done.
it is done. I know Boar's Head does Lebanon bologna, and so if you can find, I'm living in Florida now, and I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and Lebanon is a city in Pennsylvania, and I think that's where this bologna came from because it's like an Amish type situation,
Mhm.
and I'm at the deli counter. This was probably a couple years ago, and I'm ordering Lebanon bologna, and then there's an older lady in line behind me, and she's like, "Are you from Pennsylvania?" And I'm like, I'm like, "How did you know?" And she goes, "'Cause you just ordered Lebanon bologna." And I'm like, "Okay, you got me, lady. Yep, that's where I'm from.
That's how you know. That's how you
That's
know.
how you get them. They got me." Oh gosh.
I love it.
So you're gonna hear these trends in this story, and I don't know, Garrett. Do you want to just get into reading our story? I have to tell the genre. I spun my own little wheel
Mhm.
of genre, and we we came up with a romantic comedy. So this is a Weird Al themed romantic comedy. It's gonna be
Let's dig
great.
into it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I start. Melanie was beginning to wonder if she'd ever find love. The closest thing she had to a serious relationship was the creepy guy who lived in the building across the street. He seemed to know everything about her, but not in a good way. It was almost like he went through her garbage and used that information to cobble together the details of her life. I wish I could find someone else to love me that much, but didn't stalk me, she mused to herself while petting her cat.
She heard a knock on her door, the same rhythmic knock that he always used. Her cat sprung from her lap and went to the bedroom. She wasn't entirely sure why she entertained him. Maybe it was because she was too sympathetic. He was usually full of baloney when he talked. After an exasperated sigh, Melanie got up and went to the door and slowly opened it. To her surprise, there was no one there. All that was left on her doorstep was a blank envelope. She opened it, and inside was a card with a simple heart on the front. Perplexed, she opened it and read, "In a world full of accordions, be my Weird Al." Confused, but smitten, she was curious who this mysterious card came from. How did they know I loved Weird Al? Maybe Daryl from across the street, since he knows everything about me. Determined to figure it out, she made her way to Daryl's house.
Melanie knocked on the door, but it sounded like there was raucous cheering on the other side. Is he watching soccer in there? She mused aloud to herself. Suddenly, the door flung open, and it was Daryl. "It's football, not soccer!" he shouted in her face. Then, as if he realized what he'd done, his entire demeanor flipped in a second. I'm so sorry, Melanie. I didn't mean to yell at you," he stumbled over the words. "I just get very passionate about football. Do you want to come inside for a minute? I think we need to talk." Melanie walked in and was shocked at what she saw. It wasn't the weird stalker cave she had imagined. Daryl lived in a very neat, tidy, almost magazine-worthy home. Daryl turned off the TV and gestured for her to sit down on the couch. "So I guess you know that I know everything about you. And I guess you're wondering why I picked now to reach out to you. You see, I don't have a lot of friends. My only friend has been my hamster. As a pet owner yourself, I figured you'd understand." Melanie sat there completely befuddled. "Why would you proclaim your love to me because of your hamster?" "Well, I know you love Weird Al. I, too, love Weird Al. And I named my hamster Weird Al. We did everything together. We ate together. We bathed together. We even shared the same piece of mint-flavored dental floss. But now, that's all over. Weird Al is dead.
Melanie fell to her knees. Her chest felt like it got hit with a slug. A real big, slimy slug, like one from a monster movie. How could this be real? She just saw Al on The Unfortunate Return of the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent Ill-Advised Vanity Tour, and he seemed A-okay to her then. With her voice starting to choke up, Melanie said, I just saw him on The Unfortunate Return of the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent Ill-Advised Vanity Tour, so I'm confused. Did someone murder him? Daryl fought back tears. I also saw him on The Unfortunate Return of the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent Ill-Advised Vanity Tour, so I'm just as lost as you. Who murders a hamster? A hamster? Wait, so the actual person Weird Al is fine, but your hamster is gone? Melanie didn't want to sound too inhumane, but she didn't like her emotions toyed with. Yeah, my best friend. My only friend. I thought that was pretty clear with the card and what I just said. Weird Al is dead. Tears were streaming down his face now. Melanie felt awful. I'm sorry, Daryl. What can I do to help? Marry me.
Melanie just looked at him like a cow looks at an oncoming train. Marry you? She stammered back. Yeah, why not? Who's it gonna hurt? Daryl sobbed. Now, Melanie took a few moments to gather her thoughts. Would this work? He stalked her, after all. But it was kind of cute stalking if you take the stalking part out of it. He seemed really sweet. Well, okay, she said. Let's do it. Let's get weird. Let's make the world our very own Weird the Al Yankovic story, but we'll write it our way. Daryl took Melanie in a warm embrace, and the two kissed with the passion of 1,000 suns. And then, in an ironic twist of fate, the entire building was crushed by one of those pesky radioactive hamsters from a planet near Mars. And that's the story.
Oh.
That was so much fun to write, by the way.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Like, I remember pitching this idea to you that we do this, and I was like, let's just have fun and write like a goofy Weird Al version of what it is you do on your show. And you were like, yes, please. Let's do it.
Yeah. And, that was the thing too is, normally when we're like, this is a romantic comedy. So if I were to write this in my normal show, it would just be a very serious, thing with little bits of humor put in. But when you throw the Weird Al aspect into it, because of what he does and is as a person, you really have to just kind of change how you're writing. So just to kind of pick mine apart a little bit, when I got to my second section, when Daryl said that Weird Al is dead, and then she got hit with a slug, then I got a little descriptive of that, and then me bringing up the tour name 3 separate times and just saying the whole thing out. I was like, this is going to be so fun to read this back, because one of my more recent favorite Weird Al songs that I've just been very addicted to is Trapped in the Drive-Thru.
Okay.
I cannot get over how fun that song is and just how ridiculous it is. And the part when he's waiting to get the ketchup and it's like he looks at me and I look at him, and it's just that back and forth, and you're like, where is this going? That's kind of what I was going for with that.
I love that. And like, I totally got that. And I mean, one of the things I do on the show all the time is I will never just shorthand and say Vanity Tour. I will say The Unfortunate Return of the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent Ill-Advised Vanity Tour, and I make sure I get the whole name of the tour out every time I refer to it. And
yeah,
I love that you did that thrice.
I had to. I feel like it really added to the story with what was going on at that moment. Everything was just, so passionate. So just picturing these two people just crying their eyes out, just saying this thing over and over, just like because they love Weird Al like you do. So they have to say the whole name. They can't just, like you said, abbreviate it or shorten it, because that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. And actually, I'm going to ask you a question that I didn't prepare you for, but I feel like It's a question that makes sense for being on this podcast.
Okay.
And if you don't have just one answer to it, that's fine, because I realize this is a difficult question. But what's your favorite Weird Al song?
Oh man. Okay. I really like I said, I like the Trapped in the Drive-Thru it. That one's fun to me. I think Your Horoscope for Today is a
Yeah.
very fun song. I really enjoy that one a lot. Um, I'm trying to think if there's like an actual parody, if there's a parody that he does that I really like. I mean, White and Nerdy is a killer one for me. I kind of got into that one back when oh no, I know which one it is. It's The Saga Begins. I think that's my favorite Weird Al song.
Okay, that tracks, that makes sense, and I completely accept that as an answer. Um, because like, there's no wrong answer. Like,
Yeah.
because there's no, like, truly bad Weird Al song. There's something wonderful in every single one of them, but yeah, The Saga Begins, you can't poop on,
No.
because it was so, um it's classic for him at this point, but, the first time I saw him was the first tour he ever did that song on, and it's become, like, the mainstream tour closer since
Oh,
then.
really? Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, well, the encore for, like, a regular Weird Al show these days, so not things on The Unfortunate Return of the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent Ill-Advised Vanity Tour, but, other tours, um they go off the stage, blah, 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 blah. And then, the stormtroopers come out, and then he does The Saga Begins, and then they close with Yoda. So it's all the Star Wars stuff there at the
Sure.
end. And so that is, you can't see Weird Al do a regular parody set list without hearing The Saga Begins. And it's a huge thing for there's a group that does the stormtrooper, outfits, and like they have local chapters and stuff, and they're the ones that end up on stage with Weird Al. And so like these people have this beautiful moment that they get to remember for the rest of their lives, because Weird Al's like, I need stormtroopers.
Yeah,
Let's get these people. I'm not traveling with stormtroopers. We're just gonna
right.
locally source stormtroopers.
I love that. I mean, there is something about that song too. I mean, he does the original justice, and the way that he made the song fit perfectly, like within everything, and even how he will reuse some of the same like rhymes at the same time for the song, like when he does "I'm Still Here" and he's a ghost instead of like the Holy Ghost.
Hmm.
I mean, just the amount of detail that he puts into stuff is truly amazing, and I wish that people wouldn't sleep on Weird Al as much as they do. I mean, he's got obviously a huge fan following, otherwise he wouldn't be touring still. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely people who don't give him a chance for whatever reason. But if you look past the silly parody stuff and just what he puts into the songwriting and everything like that, I really think there's much more to appreciate.
Oh, for sure. And I'm actually going to pay you one of the highest of compliments here right now. Because you know how you wish that more people wouldn't sleep on Weird Al because of the time and effort and work that he goes into putting into this unique thing that he does and presents to the world. And that's very much how I feel about your podcast. I feel like you you and Frankie like have this unique thing that you know, there's a metric crap ton of, pop culture podcasts out there, sports podcasts out there, political podcasts out there. And nobody does the thing that you do.
Hmm.
And that is just so cool. Nobody does that. Yes, people have tried to do the thing that Weird Al does, but there is no other Weird Al. Weird Al is,
Yeah.
he's the one who does the thing that he does. And y'all are the thing that does what you do. And I think that's super cool. So while we're still here with it, because I accidentally made myself a beautiful segue that I'm now ruining by pointing it out. Uh, um, I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of, yeah, you pitched the concept of your show at the beginning, but if somebody listening to this was like, listen to this story and thought like, oh, this was cool because they took these six things, incorporated into this story that they wrote together that was pretty fun, you know. Um, where should people start with your show? Like, I don't know, it could be like your favorite, it could be say like, no, this is the thing that truly represents who we are and what we do. Um, be their Sherpa.
Um, there's so many different ways like I could take this. I think I think my favorite episode that I truly enjoy these, and there's 3 different parts to it, so you'd have to check out all 3. Um, I feel like the episode's called The Fury, and there's parts 1, 2, and 3. They came out, in August through October of 2021, in case you're actually looking for these. Um, this story is about a professional skee baller, um, and how he has to save an arcade. It's so silly, and
Mhm.
when I started writing this, I had in mind of one of those typical, like, Will Ferrell sports movies where it's just over the top insanity. Like, no one's a professional skee baller. No one has to save an arcade from unruly kids. Like, it's just a ridiculous thing. But I feel like I had some of the most fun writing with this one because I just kind of went over the top with it, and it was a lot of fun. Um, and then one of the other ones that we really had fun with was The Lords of the Manor, which was on our last season from last year. That started in May of 2022. It's like a murder mystery type thing where some people are trapped in a they're stuck in a mansion trying to solve a problem, but they're trying to figure out who the best burger topping is because everyone's name has something to deal with a Whopper.
That's great. Yeah,
It's
that is a good
it's
one.
silly, but they were just a lot of fun, and Frankie and I were definitely, like, meshing together on both of those sets of episodes really well, just kind of going over the top and silly, but also, keeping the story going and being serious when we needed to.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's finding that balance, between the serious and the silly, because I feel like you need silly to tell a good story, even if it is a serious topic, because that's how life is. Like
Mhm.
nothing is ever all completely serious. Like
Right.
humor is what gets you through the tough things.
Mhm.
And that's what Weird Al is here to do. That's what we're trying to do kind of here in the world.
Yeah.
And if I had to put my 2 cents in, I know you mentioned that Russ and I were both on separate episodes. I'm just gonna plug those if people wanted a smooth transition from this. I was on an episode called The Heist, and that came out in September. And if you listen to the show, you've heard my fiance Russ several times on this show. Y'all people seem to like him. He was on an episode called The Mirror that came out in June of 2022. So I remember, and I'm totally gonna out him here. I remember when you reached out to Russ to see if he'd be on your show. He was like, "I'm gonna do this." He goes, "But I don't have a I'm not a writer. What do I do?" And I was like, "Dude, just have fun, you know?" So, like, he did it, and I did help him, like, clean it up a little bit and flesh it out
Sure.
some, because, like, my degrees are in writing. This is the thing that I do.
Mhm.
But, the idea was all him, and doing it that way, I just kinda helped him fluff it up a bit,
Yeah.
and he walked away from the recording of that. Like, cause I mean, I've seen him walk out of this room that I'm sitting in now after recording episodes. He's like, "Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good." He kinda walked out and he kinda gave me one of those, like, big wide-eyed, like, he was like, "That was so much fun," kinda looks, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm sure it was." I was like, "Can you get me on that show? I too would like to have fun, please."
Well, I'm glad you guys had fun, and really that's what it was because when I first came up with this concept for the show, I did a solo show before and it was me just complaining about life in general, things that were upsetting and things like that. And there's like you said, you reach your hand into a podcast barrel, you're gonna pull out someone complaining about something. So I wanted to do something different and like you said, unique. So I thought about it and I'm like, well, if we do news, there's a million news things. But what can we do to make it different? Because for some reason I had the word trend stuck in my head. It's like if we can try to keep it trending, then people will maybe see us and stuff. So like what can we do with that? I'm like, well, let's just make it fun because the news
Mhm.
sucks. More
Yeah.
often than not, the news is pretty depressing. And so some of the things we find they're not super fun to talk about, but it's helped me be more, aware of what's going on in the world. But then we write most of the time a fun story that it kind of lightens the mood for a little bit. At least that's what I'm going for, because we need a little positivity, and that's what podcast should be, a little breakaway from life for, the 45 minutes to however long your show is, and you get to enjoy that. So that's what I was going for with that. And then having the guests on was really cool because, Frankie and I have our chemistry that we have, but with Russ and you and the other guests I had, I don't know what you guys write like. So it was gonna be like a complete mystery to me what was coming back. And like with Russ, I mean his show was music. So I assumed there's gonna be some kind of music things, but he like brought it and I was really impressed with how he was writing. And then, you with your Weird Al, parody type fun things when you came back with how that story ended. I'm not gonna spoil it here, so you
No,
need to
go
make sure
listen
you
to that
listen.
because that was
Go
weird.
listen to it. That story was so fun. I cackled when I read the ending of that one. So please do yourself a favor and go listen to Lauren's episode with me. But it's just fun and silly. And like I said, there's no stress. I'm not expecting anything other than for just a story to be written and we have fun with it. That's it.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that I love when people put out in the world is just fun, you know? And I appreciate you guys for doing exactly what it is that you're doing. And I'm so glad you got to bring your format here to this show with a Weird Al twist for the listeners of the Beard Al podcast, because I feel like there's a Venn diagram between people that like what I do here and like what you do there, and those circles definitely cross
Yes,
somewhere.
definitely. Yep.
And so for all of the listeners that I have just found one of their new favorite podcasts, you're welcome. I'm just over here doing Weird Al's work.
Yep.
That's my way of saying the Lord's work, but putting
Yeah.
Weird Al into it.
Oh.
So great, so great. I get one last question, because I know that, like you said, you did a solo show before, and you wanted to do stuff with trends. But what made you want to tell stories, like do it like fiction?
Um, when I was in high school, in English, there was 2 years in a row where our English teacher had us write stories, and it was supposed to be a group thing. And, I ended up doing all the writing. All that the group did was come up with characters and a story, and then I just started writing. And, I mean, I've always been a creative person. I love drawing. I love, you know, anything like creative stuff, I'm into it. And I started writing just little short stories here and there. And I just figured, if I'm gonna do a podcast, I want to still flex my creative muscles in a different way. And the whole story thing just kind of came with the name really. Because like I said, I had like the word trend on the brain, but I didn't really know how to use it. And all of a sudden, I thought of like, well, there's the never ending story. And I'm like, oh, ever trending story. I can write stories about trends, and that's basically just where that idea just came to life was the name.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And because for me, one of the things that Weird Al does is makes me remember what I felt like when I was a kid. Even though I'm an adult, I can still kind of put that kid hat on and feel good about it, you know?
Hmm.
And one of the things about writing silly stories to kind of get through tougher things in life, because like you said, like some of the trends you're bringing up are kind of more difficult stuff to think about or talk about. But
Yeah,
to write a story around it, it's like putting that kid hat on again and saying, you know what? If I can use my imagination, everything is going to be okay.
yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's so neat. That's so cool. And, again, listeners of the Beard Owl podcast, please go listen to EverTrending Story, because you will have a good time. You will have just as good a time listening as I did recording. I promise you that. Look, I know. You're like, this woman is like loading me with compliments. I don't know what to do with myself right
Well,
now.
I mean, I definitely appreciate it. I mean, I feel like what we do is pretty unique and fun, and I mean, that's what the goal was. So, any type of people coming in and checking us out, I mean, obviously I'm going to appreciate it. So, I thank you for all the kind words because as podcasters, especially since you and Russ were able to get me into this, OddPods Media group together. Like that's what podcasters do. We stick together and build each other up. And I mean, I've loved your show since I discovered it before, I was even aware of like the OddPods Media group and stuff. And I mean, I love Weird Al. My dad introduced me to Weird Al when I was a kid, and I mean, I've been obsessed ever since. And I'm mad I missed him when he came through my town quite a few years ago. So hopefully he'll make another return, and I'll actually get to go this time. Um, but you find those things that you like, and you guys do such a great job on your show too, just discussing the songs. I love your guys' chemistry and everything too. And that's what we're here for. We're just here to entertain for an hour a day. That's all we're doing. And um you guys do it well.
No, thanks. See, look, people, you came to listen to a story and you ended up with just two podcasters appreciating each other, which is what it's all about. Like you get these big time celebrities, they're all fighting each other over crap that doesn't need to be fought over. And like us here in the indie podcast community, we're like, you're great, you're great, you're great.
Yeah.
But like we mean it when we say it,
Yeah, I don't, pour BS on anything. Like I am genuine. If I like you, I'm telling you I like you. So I like you.
I
I
like
like
you
what you
too.
do.
This is good. That's so great. Garrett, I feel like we covered the whole thing. Right here at the end, do you want to tell people where they can find the EverTrending Story? Since I talked it up so much, I'll put links in the show notes, but you might as well tell them.
Yes, you can find our show literally anywhere you find podcasts. So we're like on Good Pods. Like I love them because you could leave reviews on each episode and say what you liked about it. And as a listener on there, you can see what I'm listening to as well and what I think about each show. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We're hosted on Anchor, so if you use that for podcasting for whatever reason, you can find us there too. I think yeah, and that's it. That's all we're located at. We're also on Twitter at EverTrending Pod, TikTok, and Instagram, all at the same. It's all at EverTrending Pod.
Cool. Yeah. And so this is giving me an opportunity to use one of my buttons because
And that's when those security guards threw us out.
we're
Hey,
done.
I
Hey,
feel like my life's complete now because I got one of the Beard Owl drops. I love it.
you got a Beard Owl drop.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that song. That's one of my favorites too.
Dare to be stupid is so
I
good.
love it.
So good.
It brings me back to the Transformers movie. That's where I first heard it.
Yeah, that does that for a lot of people, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Oh, well, Garrett, it has been a delight to have you here as a member of the OddPods Media Network. And folks, check out his show. Garrett, thank you again, and goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Sorry, we got a one. We got a pencil again.